the different use cases of this enterprise blockchain, which currently in different industries means you have
Well,
seen.
yeah, enterprise blockchains are most useful when there are a number of parties that are involved in any kind of transactions, and the parties don't necessarily trust each other at the level of the transaction. They trust each other in terms of conducting business with them, but they don't trust each other at the level of carrying out a transaction. So, enterprise blockchains are most useful when there are uh, where the counterparty risk needs to be offloaded onto the platform without having a third party. In this case, the network becomes not the third party, but the network replaces the third party. But it's still permission. So there is a process in which people are joining the network. So some people can make the claim that look, you are not really getting rid of third parties. You're just automating them, or you are perhaps introducing another structure that replicates the third party in some way. So yeah.
So means like let's discuss something on domain front. Suppose like when we talk about supply chain, how it can be useful. When we talk about healthcare, or means how we can apply this enterprise blockchain in some of areas, in some of these domains, or if you want
Sure.
to
So
explore some
yeah,
other
sure.
domain, you can.
Yeah, no problem. So I'll speak very briefly about supply chain and healthcare both.
Okay.
So the reason healthcare and supply chain are industries where blockchain is a good fit is because IT infrastructure in both of these industries is very fragmented. What that means is you will find older IT deployments, uh, IT deployments that are siloed inside single hospitals or groups of hospitals, or especially in supply chain, there may be very limited IT deployments. So maybe there are transportation companies who use very basic systems. So now, when supply chains become complex and when you need to track shipments or you need to communicate with your partners in your supply chain, uh, you need to share data in the right way, and you need to be able to not just share data in the right way, but you need to ensure that the data you're sharing
Okay.
is only visible to the right parties. So, for example, the customer and the supplier, or the customer and the manufacturer, they don't want to share pricing data with the transporter, or they don't want to share pricing data even sometimes within their own organization with the wrong department, right? So, finance will not necessarily always share data with like the supply chain department. So the right kind of access to the data is something that permission blockchain can achieve.
Okay. Fine, fine, fine. Okay. So what about means like suppose अगर हम इसको simpler terms में बोलें, मतलब अगर suppose our audience को हम अगर और समझाना चाहें तो मतलब हम ये बता सकते हैं कि मतलब more about transparency रहेगी, means like in that supply chain, मतलब अगर suppose वो product origin से source से मतलब अपने destination में जा रहा है तो means it will be more good, means अगर आप इसको थोड़ा और अच्छे से elaborate करें मतलब supply chain को थोड़ा सा.
Sure, sure, no problem. So, अभी क्या होता है ना कि let's say there is something, you're transporting fish or you're transporting some commodity. At the very beginning, there are companies that will package it. The companies that will package it and then they'll sell it to customers. But between the packaging and the selling it to customers, there are a number of intermediaries that come into play. There are all kinds of transportation companies. There are transportation companies that are close to your location, your local transporters, your local transit. Then there is international transit. Then there is local transit on the side of your customer. And क्या होता है ना कि जब आप on your side, when you do the processing, you won't process it for perhaps the end customer always. So that's not the best way of shipping it. So you will process it on the side of like your local customer or the country of the local customer. So there is processing there as well. So there are a whole number of organizations, players in the middle who are handling your shipment.
Sure.
Right. So now when you create the shipment, you communicate with a lot of these parties in the conventional IT deployment, conventional sense, without a platform, without a supply chain platform that allows sharing. You communicate to them one-on-one. The kind of clients we work with, large clients, they still have communications over emails. They still have communications over, tap-based systems that everyone is not using.
Okay.
So they are. So what they do is they'll communicate with someone, they'll get the communication back, and then they'll start the shipment. But the people in the middle, sometimes people who are not known, for example, on the international transit side or on the third-party transporter side, so transporters who are not necessarily known but are subcontracted by one of the middle parties. So imagine that you're a processor, you are shipping to all kinds of transit, and one of your partners is subcontracting another transporter who you don't know, and they are handling your goods. And now imagine you are shipping fish, and fish has to be maintained at a particular temperature. Right? Now you shipped, you processed it, you packaged it in the right way, you maintained the temperature in the right way, and you shipped it. Now when it reaches the customer says, look, this fish was not up the temperature, your temperature was too high at some part of the leg, so now it's spoiled. Now how do you ascribe blame? How do you say, okay, this is the partner who's making the error? Right? This is the partner who is responsible for this issue. If there are returns to be initiated in non-perishable goods, how do you track that? And how do you tie it to the original shipment? So all these things are very difficult today because communication is very fragmented.
Okay, so I think use case of supply chain will play a major role. Means like as COVID situation started easing, because I think the whole supply chain is totally broke now. I think what is your take? Means I think it's going to take a lot of adoption in this space. Means as the
So supply chain has been undergoing a lot of digitization over the last couple of years anyway.
Okay.
And what the current situation, COVID, has done is that it has shown that when demand goes up for certain essentials, how important communication and tracking is. Because you are managing inventory somewhere, there is demand somewhere, you're sending it, all your projections that you had. So when the supplier or the manufacturer is building something, creating something or producing something, they are producing it based on some projected demand. So they are talking to the suppliers, they're talking to the customers, and they're trying to project demand, and they're building or creating their product based on that. Okay. Now, when there is a gap or there's a issue in communication between parties within a supply chain, and now we have global supply chain, right? For the last, 100 years or so, we've had global supply chains. If there isn't a clear way of communicating, projecting certain kinds of things, then it becomes very difficult for manufacturers, suppliers, customers, transporters to be on the same page and produce the commodity, produce anything in the right quantity to cater to the demand. Okay, so this pandemic has, I think, maybe fast-tracked what was already happening.
Okay, fine. So I think it's going to take a lot of adoption in terms of blockchain. Means like when it comes to transparency or tracking, means your goods from like your source to destination. Means a lot of transparency it will add in enterprise blockchain. Am I right?
Yes, definitely. But I also like to look at blockchain as one of the technologies that we use.
Okay.
So we have an entire tech stack, and in the tech stack, blockchain plays a very important role.
Okay.
So it's one of the technologies.
Okay.
In certain, when we started this discussion, I spoke about how we set up an entire network. Okay. So when we set up the network, we create applications and parts of the network that are suited for certain kinds of parties or players within the supply chain.
Okay.
So we also have a very, how should I put it, an architecture that I really haven't seen in the market, and we've developed this architecture based on what we've been required to build. Okay. So whether it's more centralized, whether it's more decentralized, we have a few different kinds of architecture that plug into the same network.
Okay.
So what I want to say is that we take blockchain and we use it in different ways, different kinds of deployment.
Okay, so fine.
That's our perspective.